Hi, everyone. It's been a while since we've done a Facebook Live, and I didn't know if anybody would even join in. So I thought maybe people might watch the replay. But hello to everybody. What's going on, David? He says, I guess no rain. Well, it's not going to be no rain, but there's going to be light rain. Francine is really not going to do much for our area. But let me show you what we've got here as we check out our first of all radar loop. Now it's 9/11. I wanted to come on here and just say we'll never forget. Obviously, 23 years ago, devastating day for our country. We only got less than an hour left here for 9/11. Can't thank emergency responders and first responders and everybody else, firefighters, you name it. Um, I remember exactly where I was when 9/11 happened. I'm sure you do as well. Some of the people at our station weren't even born, or just were maybe a few months old, so they don't remember it as well. But yeah, we will never forget. That is for sure. But on this 9/11, man, did we have a nice sunset. And honestly, I want to start off with that. We'll take a look at Francine, but this sunset was lights out. It was insane. Did you get to see it? Because it was incredible. Check this out. This is a time lapse here. I'm going to put this in motion. You're going to get to see this. Look at these colors pop. Man, was that gorgeous. So, this, by the way, was from our Harrison Gaither Mountain Weatherbug Network camera. Is that not incredible? And by the way, high clouds just from tropical systems, they're just different. You get to see some really cool colors. Look at that. Here's another time lapse. You get to see another camera, and the Rogers camera is probably the weirdest because there's some clouds in the foreground that just don't move, almost like they're pasted on the screen. And this is the one right here. So look at all the other clouds that are moving. You can barely see those clouds in the foreground. And yeah, they're moving a little bit, but not much. It almost looks like they're not even moving at all. And so that's pretty wild right there. Just an absolute gorgeous, beautiful painting, like you said, almost like the brushstrokes of God. That was it right here. Colors are straight from God's paintbrush. Look at this one. This is from our Lincoln Weatherbug Network camera. Are these not amazing? Gorgeous colors. We're going to get to Francine, and I'll tell you what we've got around here. But man, gorgeous sunset. And finally, one more. I think we've got one more time lapse to show you. Unless maybe that's it. Look at how long that sunset lasted, too. These are high clouds rolling in from that tropical system. Finally, one more. Decatur. This is our Weatherbug Network camera in Decatur. And it was wild how those clouds just appeared. I mean, they were there always once they got reflected from, the sunset and the colors, and then you finally got to see them. So, all right, we'll take a look here at Francine. One of your super weather kids was my niece at OU to fulfill her ambitions in weather. You'll remember her shoes. So, is your niece Taylor Barnes? Is that who it was? Because that had to be one of the people that went to OU. I was in a seventh grade class when it happened. My dad checked us out of school. Yeah, we're talking about 9/11 and when people remember that. I was in Amarillo. I was reporting. It was one of my first jobs, first full time jobs. We storm chased for an Oklahoma City TV station, but it was one of my first time jobs of actually being, you know, full time. And I was a reporter during the week. So I did reporting during the week and I did weekend weather at KAMR in Amarillo. And I remember seeing that in the morning. And even though it was my off day, I knew I had to come in. And what was wild was I woke up after the second plane or after the first plane hit. So I didn't get to see that live. I did see the second plane hit in real time when the news was on. And I'll never forget watching, the NBC Today show. And then what was wild is I was kind of flipping around and there was a Spanish channel that I guess didn't know that the towers fell because there was a major delay. So, anyways, just a terrible day, a day that will forever change the history of our country for sure. And Lone Wolf says, retired medic and search and rescue team member was living in the East Coast when the Twin Towers came down, helping out about EAS, they're helping out about 3 blocks away. Yeah, just absolutely Incredible. Now, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of rescues that are going on with Francine. Francine is really causing some problems in the Louisiana area. Now it's starting to move out, but here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you're going to see that system lifting northward. So, first of all, it came on shore as a Category 2 hurricane. If you haven't heard that, I'll show you the full loop here. It kind of weakened a little bit as it was making its way into the Western Gulf, and then it strengthened, obviously, and then re-strengthened right before it came ashore. Look at that eye wall, pretty intense eye wall right there. And then that made its way just southwest of Morgan City, about 30 miles. There's landfall about 5 o'clock. And we kind of move along in time and look at all the rain that came down. That was some extremely heavy rain. And then you had the flash flood emergency that was issued shortly after that. And so that flash flood emergency issued for the New Orleans area and now pretty much gone. Tornado watches and all that stuff. So what happens around here? Well, I'll show you here that the track of this system is just not going to be very favorable for rain around here. The farther east you go with the system, the less rainfall that you get on the west side. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now look at those rain totals. Tremendous amounts of rain near the New Orleans area. Here's the very latest at 10 o'clock, tropical storm. Next advisory will be at 1 o'clock. Patriot Mom said, I have a nephew that lived in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So Lake Charles didn't get much from this system. They were on the western side. It was not like Laura. Laura was really bad for Lake Charles. But this was much different. But there's a look at the track. Now, this is what gets interesting. This storm's racing off to the north. But watch what happens after Thursday afternoon. This system kind of slows down Thursday night, and then you're going to see it continuing to slow down and really stalls out to our east. So, yes, it brings rain across western Tennessee, western Kentucky, Mississippi. In fact, you're going to see the rain totals here. And look at that. I mean, that's a tremendous amount, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. The farther east you go, you don't get the farther west you go, I mean, you don't get as much. And there's the northwest Arkansas area, just not as much rain. Yeah, Lisa, I'll get to that here in Daphne, Louisiana. I think I pronounced that right. There's some towns that I'm not exactly 100% sure, but you can help me out with that. There's a look at the rain totals. I mean, that is a measly amount, 1/100th to 1/10 of an inch. And you got some spots that don't even pick up rain. So here's the future track, and I think this has a good handle on it because right now, as we look at Mega Doppler, there's just a little bit of rain that's popping up across southwest Arkansas. Notice how as it's trying to make its way into, as that rain's trying to make it into Scott County, it kind of falls apart. And then you're going to see here as we look at the future track, this storm system just really doesn't do much. But I can't take out the rain completely. We can't do that. There's just no way. So I think a little bit of rain comes our way in eastern sections of the weather coverage area. Now, the I-49 corridor, I wouldn't bank on any rain at all. Northeast Arkansas, it's going to be a little bit more. And you're going to see that here. I'll take the camera off the screen. Look at how the track of the low is farther east. Then it kind of meanders and drifts. You see that spin? We'll get some cloud cover from time to time Saturday, but it just really doesn't do anything. And all the rain, I think, is going to be to the east of us. So the Razorback game kickoff, it's going to be warm, probably temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. So make sure that you have a sunscreen, stay hydrated. Kickoff will probably be feeling like the lower to middle 90s. So it's going to be a hot game, especially with a little after 3 o'clock kickoff. Now, here's what we've got with the rain totals. it's not a lot. The farther east you go, that's a problem. But there's a look at, Fayetteville, Bentonville, Anderson, Stillwell, nothing. Huntsville, 2/100th of an inch. Get a little more, 2/10 of an inch. That's not anything to write home about. These rain chances are not impressive. And that's why we don't have a lot of rain. So you don't really have to worry about that. Here's a look at the timing. We'll break this down for you. 20% chance Thursday night into Friday morning. We get up to 30%, and mainly Thursday night. But that's mainly for our eastern counties, so eastern areas. Yeah, Lone Wolf, no problem, man. I see that, Northwest Arkansas. You got Ryan Vaughn, who's taking care of Northeast Arkansas in the Jonesboro area. But there's that 30% in the River Valley. And remember, they're getting the rain already, and it's kind of popping up as that little energy moves in. We'll pan down here a little bit. You can see just a little, I mean, nothing major at all. So if you're thinking a lot of rain is coming for the week and from Francine, not here. So we'll look back at, in fact, while I'm doing that, I'm going to bring up Francine. There hasn't been any tornado warnings. There's been tornado watches. The outer bands just haven't been favorable for tornadoes, and they haven't really developed as much. So here's what we've got. I got to tell you this. I think we're going to see a pattern change. Pattern change is coming as we go into our next week, so late next week. Now, it's still going to be warm, but I got to break this down for you why that Francine remnants just aren't going anywhere. First of all, there's no steering currents. So this is a ridge of high pressure. See how that? It's really called a split flow weather pattern. You got the subtropical jet, got the polar jet, and then in the middle here, you've got high pressure, clockwise flow, sinking air. That is preventing Francine from moving anymore. So the big story is going to be the heavy rain that falls across western Kentucky, western Tennessee, northern Mississippi. Alabama will get some tornadoes probably. James Spann will be busy. But there's a look at that jet stream that starts to change. Now look off to the west coast. Big dip in the jet stream for the end of the weekend. Now that energy starts moving east. This right here spells thunderstorm activity, if you ask me. It's that southwest flow. It's a big dip in the jet stream, and that's different than anything we've seen so far. The last time we had southwest flow, hate to say it, but it was late May, and that's when we had all those storms. Now, this doesn't look like that type of system, all the ingredients, but you get the idea that the pattern is going to become favorable for thunderstorms. So while we might not see a whole lot of rain from Francine, I do think we get pretty active next week. And then there's some more energy swinging in, look more positively tilted troughs. That's slow moving. You're starting to get that colder air moving in. So we're about to see the change of seasons, but September 21st could be some thunderstorm activity in the afternoon. So we'll have to see. This is still a ways out. Here's a look at the future track, and this is past Francine. I'll show you this with the European, but here's the European model. You can see the system lifting north. Now watch how it just kind of churns just to our east. Nothing really major. There is a little piece of energy that brings us some rain on Sunday and Monday. You can see that kind of popping up right there. And then Tuesday, we get a little bit of rain potential. But watch what happens here on Thursday night into Friday. That's thunderstorm activity right there. So it's close. It doesn't show it, but I think that we're going to see some thunderstorm activity on either the 21st, 22nd. It's going to be around the weekend. Still a ways out. But speaking of the weekend, got to give you a shameless plug here. There is a safety fair that's coming up. And I would, let's just say, come out and check it out. Here's a look at the 18th Annual Northwest Arkansas Emergency Preparedness Fair. It is at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Centerton. The address on that is 950 Seba Road. So we got some free handouts that we're going to be giving you. We got a severe weather brochure. I will be giving a presentation on the May 26 tornadoes, which, of course, was a huge event. We'll take some excerpts out of our severe weather special, one supercell to remember. You can get a free lunch. There's a blood drive. And notice how it says weather pending there. So, and you get to see some storm spotters too. Get to talk to them and see what they experienced on the early morning of May 26th, because there was a lot of them out there. Charles Peak is out there in the looks like that radar went down in New Orleans, so that's not good. They lost power there. Oh, I'm going to show you how much power is out. It's pretty rough. There's a lot of power out. Always important to talk about disaster preparedness because, let's face it, things can happen. And I think it was a wake-up call for a lot of people May 26th. Now, someone said right here, I am so ready to look forward to cool fall weather. I know. I hear you there. Problem is, you might have to wait a little while because that southwest flow weather pattern does not favor cooler weather. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center showing this 6 to 10 day outlook, likely warmer than normal, likely cooler than normal in the western coast. That makes sense because the west coast has a big dip in the jet stream. The You ready for this? 8 to 14 day outlook. You guessed it, likely warmer than normal as we have that southwest flow continuing. So I don't think we see a whole lot of cooler weather for the third week in September. But keep in mind that could change. That's still a ways out. Let's look at precipitation, shall we, and see what it looks like. There's a look at the precipitation. You notice above average slightly. And then we'll look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation total. And that also shows slightly above. Yep. Cooler weather will have to wait. We had a cool weather. We hit a record low. We tied it yesterday at 43 at Drake Field. And we're not going to be that cool again. Okay, let's take a look here. Someone was asking about Daphne. So let's go ahead and we're going to zip in on New Orleans. First of all, the storm's moving out. So look at that. That's the latest radar image. So the rain's already come down. The Slidell radar is out because the power went out. Notice you got some thunderstorms here. There is a tornado watch, and you'll see I'll pop that up here on the screen so you get to see. There's the tornado watch. Some of these outer cells right here that are moving northwestward, those are the ones that will probably end up potentially producing tornadoes. But you'll have to watch this in the Pensacola, Mobile area. That's where a lot of the stuff can happen. So, but as far as everything else that's happening around New Orleans, everything is pretty quiet right now. Boy, look at some of these areas here. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Yasklowski. That's crazy. Not exactly sure on that. But yeah, the rain's pretty much gone and it's moving out. And so that's good. They've already had though, yeah, I got to show you poweroutage.us because it's not good for Louisiana. In fact, there's now I just looked at the latest. Man, there are a lot of power outages. Almost 363,000 customers without power right now. I'll show you here. Look at this. So first of all, Terrebonne Parish, you have only a handful of people that do have power. That's basically 99%. If you look at this, we'll click on this, 93% of the customers out. And yeah, that's quite a few. So Louisiana really getting impacted. There you see it right there. Customers out almost 363,000. My goodness, that's a lot. So if you come back to here and you look at this red, that's over 100,000 out. So that's the area that's being impacted. All right, I'm going to show you the 7-day, and then you get to see what's going on here. All right, stand by here. All right, stand by. Sorry, I was doing something here real quick. Let me go ahead and bring up the 7-day for the next couple of days. We're going to see maybe light rain chances, nothing super major. There you go, popping up on the screen. So all right. So I'm looking for Daphne, Louisiana, and I see Daphne, Alabama. And maybe that's what you were talking about, not Louisiana, but Daphne, Alabama. Got Dolphin Island. You got Daphne just to the east of Mobile, but maybe you can clarify that if there is a Daphne, Louisiana, or if it's Daphne, Alabama. Yeah, Dauphin Island. Okay, yeah. So here's Dauphin Island. There are some storms that are coming, and by the way, this is the stuff that usually ends up producing tornadoes. It's these outer bands. So this is where a lot of the thunderstorm activity. Let's see if there's any rotation on any of those. Nothing really major as of this point, but I do have to put the storm motion to the warning. So stand by here. Let me put that in there. Let's move a little bit northwest. Then we'll look at the velocities. Yeah, there we go. Makes more sense. So yeah, a little bit of rotation down here. That's still a ways off, but that's what they're going to have to watch are these. So there could be some tornado warnings overnight for Dauphin Island. Nice weather around here. Great weather. Let's go back to that 7-day here. So we've got showers possible in eastern sections of the weather coverage area. That's Boone and Newton County, probably maybe eastern Madison County. That's about it. Light northerly winds Friday in the lower 80s, Saturday, Sunday, looking at mid to upper 80s. And see the warming? That's that southwest flow. As of now, we just have 20% for Wednesday. That could be bumped up. But kickoff at 3:15, we're looking at mid 80s. So some pretty nice weather. And then finally, the River Valley showing hot and sweaty weather, lower 90s. Look at the morning lows around 70. So that tells you that we've got a little bit of an active weather pattern ahead. And I think that is going to be the case as we see multiple rounds of showers and storms, which is great. We need the rain, that's for sure. So tomorrow, the new drought monitor is going to be released. Right now, that drought monitor is basically, I'll give you a view for it. Louisiana, but thank you for Dauphin Island. Grew up there. Okay. So here is the drought monitor. Bring this in and show you what we've got. Put some lines on there here in just a second. There you go. So abnormally dry over northwest Arkansas. Southwest Missouri has a D1 category drought. That's probably going to increase. This, by the way, will drop off. I don't think you're going to be seeing that anymore. So major drought improvement expected, but it won't show up in the newest drought monitor. So, well, guys, I really appreciate it. I had a wonderful time, by the way, at the safety fair, the safety festival for the Razorbacks safety festival. That was in front of the student union. We had the whole weather team out there. That was a good time, and showed them the VR tornado experience. We had a QR code. We got a test too. I want to test your knowledge. We won't do that tonight, but we'll try it another night so you can hop on. You can see how smart you are with the weather. And there was a couple people that got 100%, so we gave them a prize. But not many people did that, including my staff. They didn't get 100%. So we'll do that test another time. But until then, hey everybody, I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. And remember those first responders, those emergency personnel, those firefighters, ambulance, police, you name it, EMTs, they're all important. There's no doubt about that. So thank you so much, guys. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.